Welcome back to another episode of It's All Clutter with Jess Marcy. I'm Jess Marcy, I'm a clutter coach, and I believe that all of the clutter in our lives is connected. If you want to effectively tackle your clutter, it helps to be tackling all of the different types of clutter, the financial clutter, the physical clutter, the stuff, actually on your floor and on your flat surfaces, the emotional clutter, the mental health clutter, the relationship clutter. The work that we do brings together resources to tackle all of these types of clutter in your life. On today's episode of this podcast, we are going to talk about how to reduce your stress, save yourself time with one simple phrase. The answer is less. When I started doing workshops, one of the workshops that I ran frequently was called The Answer is Less. In this workshop, I talked about the environmental impact of consumerism and how it's really complicated and nuanced to figure out the best situation for every item that we own when it comes to letting go of it. Should we or could we recycle it? Should we or could we bring it to a donation center? What would happen if we brought it to that donation center? Should we or could we put it on a free table? What do we do with all of this stuff? In this workshop I talked about, at the end of the day, it's really difficult to know the right answer. We have very little control over what happens to our stuff once it leaves our home. We have way more control over what happens or the decision to bring something in. And to reduce the stress of letting stuff go, the best thing environmentally that you can do, both to reduce the stress of letting things go and just in general for the environment, is to consume less, consume smarter, become a conscious consumer. The answer is always less. The less that we bring in, the less we have to figure out what to do with when we're done with it. As I have been working with thousands of clients over the last couple of years, I've heard myself saying the answer is less pretty frequently, and not always in regards to letting stuff go. It turns out the answer is less is the answer for a lot of our decluttering struggles. Are you feeling overwhelmed with the amount of housework that you have to do? The answer is less. The less stuff that you have in your home, the easier it is to do housework. For example, when you're doing laundry, is it difficult to get through all of the laundry that you have to do every single week? Is it difficult to put your laundry away? Do you have piles of clothing on the floor? Is it difficult to even get into your closet or into your drawers? My friends, the answer is less. The answer is less clothing. The less clothing that you have, the easier it is to do your laundry. The answer is always less. The same thing applies to doing dishes. Is it difficult to put your dishes away because they don't comfortably fit into the cabinets? Or maybe you just straight up don't have enough space for all of your dishes. It's not that you need more space. The answer is less. Less stuff equals an easier time taking care of things. If you're struggling to vacuum your floors or wash your windows because there's so much clutter, you guessed it, the answer is less. But it goes even deeper than this. I recently was working with a client and we were talking about her ADHD and how it impacts her clutter. As we talked through dealing with ADHD and clutter, we offer a lot of different strategies to help you tackle clutter when you have ADHD. The two kind of go hand in hand. One of the strategies is to only work for 5 minutes at a time. Just so many different strategies. However, the best ultimate strategy, if you are struggling with ADHD and clutter, is to simply own less items. If you go from one thing to another and you are visually distracted and get off course easily, reduce the amount of stuff in that space, reduce the distractions, and that's going to help a lot with the ADHD. If you feel like you have no time to do the things that you want to in life, no time to enjoy what you do have, once again, the answer is less. The less stuff you have taking up your time, the more time you're going to have. I kind of feel like it's hard to really embrace the answer is less because we live in a society where we see up to 10,000 advertisements every single day. We spend up to an hour every day searching for stuff. The average employee spends 1.9, so it's 2 hours a day searching for information just to get their job done. The less that we have to search through, the easier our life is. The less that we're bringing into our house, the easier that our life is. The less money that we're spending on things, the easier our life is. The less things we have taking up our time, the more time we have. There's a lot of mindset work that has to come into play when we're tackling our clutter. It's not just about getting stuff out of your house. It's shifting the way that you think about your day-to-day activities, the way that you think about your time. It is prioritizing your time as so much more important than any single thing. So much more important. And when you get that mindset shift down, it's really magical how much you can let go of. But my friends, the answer is less. I want you to think about a situation that you're struggling with right now. If you could eliminate some of the clutter from the situation, maybe the clutter looks like a lot of different opinions being involved. Maybe the clutter looks like difficulty finding the right words to say in a conversation. Maybe the clutter looks like credit card debt. If you could eliminate some of that, if you could take away, how would it ease up your situation? Think about doing housework, the last time that you did housework. If you had less things to step over, move around, negotiate with as you were doing your housework, how would this experience have been different? If you're wanting to craft and your craft room is full of every type of craft and supplies for so much stuff, but you have no space to work, how would it be different if you had less? How would it be different? So as you go about your day and you are faced with decisions to make, how would it feel if you had less decisions? The answer is always less. So that's today's podcast, really focused this week on less. Less is so much more. The answer is less. When you're faced with a problem, think about what could you eliminate from this whole equation to make your problem and solution so much clearer. How can we take away? The answer is less. Less stuff, more living. If you are interested in joining one of our communities, community is a tremendous help when you're tackling all of the clutter in your life. Please get into our free Facebook group, It's All Clutter, or join one of our programs. I would love to work with you, sincerely. I can't wait to see you on next week's podcast.